RPM Trade Vietnam. How y'all doing? Hope everybody all right. If you're not all right, then work on getting there. I'm gonna try and be a little bit more interactive with some of the live streams and shit. I really do have an opportunity with the live streams now to slow them down a bit. I don't have to feel rushed. So we can slow them down a bit. Slow them down for the slow ones. Slow them down a bit for people that want to engage a little bit more and shit like that. I do try sometimes to go back. I'm not always real good at it, but I try to go back to some of the live streams and read some of the live chats, because y'all do be talking that shit. Y'all be dropping gems yourselves. Some of y'all be hating every now and then. I get a hater ass comment. A lot of y'all be showing some understanding about what it is that I be talking about. So that's also good and appreciated. So thank y'all for that. But with this live stream, I want to talk about some new law that's about to be a real fucking thing come July 1st here in Iowa. If you're 18 years old, you could carry a pistol. Iowa keeps moving towards the things that look more like the freedom that we pretend to have. Iowa is moving closer and closer to that all the time, which is cool, but it's not that fucking cool, and we're going to talk about it. It's not that cool. Starting July 1st of this year, the bill was apparently signed by Reynolds. I think her name is Kim Reynolds of Iowa, Iowa governor. She signed this shit, and that's awesome, that if you're 18 years old, you can carry a pistol here, not just a long gun like a rifle or a shotgun. That's the way it was in Iowa. You could only carry a long gun or a shotgun until you were 21, which means that you got to be comfortable with the open carry type of shit. Mostly. I mean, you can put your shit in a rifle bag or something like that. But for the most part, you had to be completely okay with exposing to anyone who's got eyes to see the fact that you were armed with a gun. You had to fully expose yourself. It used to be like that, right? In order for that setup and how the laws work to be respected, you have to also respect the idea of open carry in general, or else how could you ever respect them telling an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, 20-year-old that if they want to carry protection out in public, it has to be something that is virtually impossible to hide for real. Which means that you will make it very known to everybody that you were armed, and that you would have to be comfortable with that if you want to be armed, and the public would have to be comfortable with that and knowing that that's the way the laws are, and they can't stop you because they're a concerned citizen. You see what I'm saying? There's a respect that's expected here that I can show you isn't really respected by some people when I openly carry my AR-15 to do my demonstrations and shit. Now, when I do that, I do get a lot of support, of course. Those people do understand it. But even then, how many of those people say the first time they've ever really seen somebody actually out here rocking that shit was because of me? No one open carries a fucking rifle around here, right? That's why it's taboo to some people. That's why I do it, because taboo will quickly become illegal. Because then no matter how righteous they are in it, they could get the public to support them subverting natural laws because you guys agree that it seems like overkill, that it's taboo to you that a motherfucker will carry an AR-15. And they can make you feel like that. Your feelings will guide what it is that you would expect for government to do, what you will give them control over you and your fellow man to do, and then that's what it is that they would do, regardless of how wrong it was, because you would justify it out of your feelings. You would justify the subjugation of you and your fellow man about your natural rights if it made you feel better because you thought you were making a safer choice. So there's a whole lot going on with where people really respect open carry and how important it really is, how much a part of open carry the gun rights actually are. For 3 fucking years, you have to be well within that. I got to be comfortable openly carrying. If you respect the 18-year-old can carry the gun, why the fuck is that even there like that? There's an expectation that when you say that they will do it, and that it'll be respected by the public, that a 19-year-old kid might have a fucking AR-15 strapped to his fucking back, but nobody ever sees it. Nobody will respect it. It takes a demonstration like what it is that I have put on with the sign and the political message and the standing on the corner soliciting hugs from strangers while I'm doing this. I had to do all of that to soften y'all up to something that you should have been respecting before I got out there. That's why I got out here like this. To display the love, right? To put the AR-15 out there in your face so that you understand that this is legal. You should already know that. You should already be firm in your opinion, whether I agree with it or not. You should be firm in your opinion in what that is, agreeing with me or not, based on information and not on feelings. As soon as you base it on feelings, boy, you could change tomorrow, but the information is not going to change ever. And that's what I like looking for, the information or the proper description of what we got going on that cannot be argued or debated or changed because time has changed or because the revolving door of politicians has fucking changed, and now new laws become what y'all say the truth and God-given rights are. It don't change that easy. That's why I can't respect a goddamn thing that they do, period. Not any of it. Once you get into the game of what they got going on in the law society about this shit, it gets even weirder, bro, because I already don't respect nobody else's authority over me. None of it. From no one. Right? I don't respect it. With authority comes the implication of some kind of responsibility, and I never put the responsibility of other people, the responsibility of my life onto other people. Now, there can be a partnership if there's facets of society that need to be managed by people in some position of authority. When you know and I don't, there's an implied authority there that I can't argue. And I wouldn't, but it should be voluntary terms with full disclosure that I allow any government official to have anything to do with how I live my life and what I do with my money, right? But they tax you before you get a chance to even know what the fuck is even going on. You will be taxed. They touch your money before you touch it. You got to jump through all these hurdles and shit to try to circumvent how much they might rip you off, or to get out of paying taxes altogether. Everybody, all these gurus and shit all over the YouTube and the internet is saying all of this different shit of what you need to do to better play the fucking tax game. And I'm telling you, fuck the game. Intelligence is not a prerequisite for your freedom, okay? You should be able to be an idiot and still get all of your fucking freedom, and you don't know how nothing works. You shouldn't have to, because it's already inherent. Once they start putting these little bitty hurdles in there, they are guaranteed to rule you, even if they can only rule you because you're stupid. Even if that's it. They have an opportunity to rule you, and I don't like that. Nature don't like that. Well, nature apparently does like it because it works, and then it is what it is. See, nature is actually kind of like gives some fundamental things, and then nature says, hey, whatever y'all let happen after that is up to you. And if you let yourself be subjugated by like a satanic, devil-worshiping, Luciferian ass ring of old white pedophiles, like if you let them rule you, then that's gonna be your fault. You kind of let that happen. Nature will provide the propensity for both things to happen, the good and the evil, but then whatever happens after that, it just is what it is. But the problem is all the good people want to be so good that they won't fight the bad people because it's going to make you look like aggressive and violent. And in some cases, like you the one started it, but none of that is true. All of the evil is already well within all of the requirements necessary for them to earn an ass whooping, and they should be getting it, but we're not going to give that to them because all y'all some pussies and all of y'all scared. And they got multiple barometers out here to determine where their control is succeeding and where it's failing, and then they got a recipe for your ass to further subjugate you and subdue your ass into their control, because that's what all of this shit is about. And every time you vote, you are telling them, hey, I'm willing to give the system 4 more years of a chance. Let's see what happens. No one expects you to vote and then revolt because it didn't turn out in your favor. That's a sore loser. That's not even a revolt. That's a civil war where you are politically fighting to put power into the hands of another branch of the another wing on the fucking government bird. Right? That's all you're doing. That ain't shit. Fuck that. A revolution is when you say, I don't trust none of y'all. I don't see no options or no out in what y'all got going on as a government. I have no place to turn to get my freedom. All you motherfuckers look dangerous, and I want to we got to revamp how this even goes, because I shouldn't feel trapped. That's when you revolt. When you want a revolution, it's because you do not have no faith in none of the shit. If you vote, you look like you have faith in all of that shit. And all they want to know is, are they pissed off enough and aware enough to revolt? That's all they care about. And after that, they'll play the game with you. They'll play the illusionary game with you. Because if you vote, you are saying that they have authority, whether you like it or not. That's what you're doing when you vote. You're saying, hey, man, it's on y'all, man, whether I like it or not. It is what it is. So then they go, well, then if you lose and shit goes to hell on your fucking watch with your 4-year fucking friend over here who don't give a fuck about you. He's never going to meet you, never going to know you. He don't know you love him. He don't know you hate him. He don't give a fucking fuck. He's in there to run his shit on his watch the way he wants, because then they all turn into millionaires after they get into some of these higher echelons of government office. So fuck them and fuck that. I don't have to like that shit. And I do blame all of you pussy motherfuckers for doing that shit. All the people that claim that the vote is going to do something we should, fuck out of here. All you black folks thinking that, man, your ancestors fought and died for your right to vote. They fought and died for me to have a fucking choice of my own. And I think my ancestors would very much love it if they saw me say, fuck your vote. All of this shit needs to burn. You all gotta go. I think my ancestors would like me for doing that. I think they would, because Malcolm X halfway had it right. And the truth is always somewhere in the middle, or a combination of two things that you think are opposing, but they really aren't. Malcolm X wanted separation, and Martin Luther King wanted integration. I think in order to get to the togetherness that Martin Luther King wanted, and to get the separation from the dangerous authority that was so oppressive to my people and to everybody really in this country, in order to find a balance between those two ideas, the system has to go. I don't want to be integrated with these motherfuckers, and they don't deserve to be left alone if I can successfully separate myself from them. Fuck that. They gotta pay for that shit. You're supposed to be doing something to their ass, is what I'm saying. And it's and real talk, is hard to say that and know that that's the absolute truth, because there's always going to be this mix-up, whether it comes from some intentional manipulation of my image by any agency. If that were to ever happen to me, fuck all that. But it would take those kinds of things and surface level nitpicking at what it is that I'm saying to truly demonize everything it is that I do and what I stand for. Because I don't think you can demonize it. Because all I'm saying is all of the same shit that a real politician that claims to be a real good politician that's good for the people, he would also say that it would be a damn shame to watch evil people hide behind this government illusion to do all of the bad things to people that they're not supposed to be doing, and that they should pay for that with everything that their oath of office and the Constitution and all this magical shit said is supposed to happen, at least to the tune of that, even if you don't leave it up to me, a regular ass nigga in the middle of Iowa. You don't get to leave it up to me on how to handle that. They already wrote it down how to handle that shit. And a real politician would say, any politician that has proven themselves to be crooked, shady, blackmail, compromise, breaking his oath of office, his or her oath of office at all, anybody who do those things should be punished to the fullest extent of the law. And the law is what it is that they would rather rely on than what a nigga like me is saying. A good politician would just go that way. And then he'd start to sound like me if he just read what it was that was written that's supposed to happen to you motherfuckers. Y'all don't realize that the government thing is so much of a responsibility that even in their own inception, they recognize the responsibility and they wrote down punishments for people that violate, but then they dodge all the violation because they make you go, ooh, there's a chain of command that they got to go through, and there's a protocol that we do this and that, and if they violate, then this is supposed to happen, so we're good to go. All right, roll camera and action, and then you play the game with their ass. They put on a show for you and you play the fucking game. And then when you go, oh, wait, isn't that illegal? Oh, he's out of office going in the wind. Don't nobody know where he went. He bought a fucking house on the East Coast somewhere up offshore. And don't nobody know that this is where this motherfucker moved to. And he's doing all this other shit. He might even got some other shadowy government jobs that he furthered his career after y'all thought that he retired or left the game to go do some other shit under the cover. Man, this shit be happening, right? And y'all let them, right? But all these people are just made of flesh. Who cares, right? If they violate and they are criminals according to their own laws, there's nothing wrong with me saying give them everything that they deserve right now, fast too. Stop playing with them. And if that means 10 years in prison for a lot of them over things that might seem minor on a surface level, government is in the position that it is right now because it's being run by criminals. And then y'all wonder why everything is so fucking bad. But how is everything so bad in this country in government business? But then I look strange when I say I'm pretty sure in the midst of all of this fuckery, somebody deserves to get their fucking head chopped off for how far they violated. Somebody deserves to fucking chop. I'm sure of it, right? And then motherfuckers look at me like I'm weird. Like I'm calling for violence. I'm talking about they ass. The promise that they made, the oath that they took says that some of them deserve to be put to death if it goes that far. And it has chop. Get they ass. There's nothing wrong with that shit at all. And I really want to see that shit, bro. I want that shit to fucking happen. It's supposed to, right? You know why it's not going to happen? It won't actually happen like that. Out of the 250, almost 250 years of this country, have we ever seen a public official executed for a violation to their oath? No. Has somebody deserved execution? I bet you the fuck they have. 250 years and the fucking ship is sinking and it's on fire. Nobody violated though. It all went into the fucking dirt like this, huh? Into the pits of hell. With no violation to no oath and no constitution, nowhere ever. Motherfuckers have violated, bro. The violations are everywhere. So when I say sharpen the gillies, bro, I don't want to hear no bullshit. I don't want to hear no bullshit from Trump talking about let's get the homegrowns too. Y'all, I know y'all been waiting for the homegrown talk. Y'all been waiting for it. Trump went from talking like he represents the grassroots people, the real fucking Americans, right? He been doing this shit on all his campaigns since he even set out to do this shit, right? And he get all you good old American motherfuckers to cheer for Trump like he's something special. If you know what the fuck is going on, you would know in order for government, especially on a global scale, to get what it is that they want, they cannot leave American politics alone. They have to influence the votes and the election cycles completely. They're going to use manipulation through social media and news and all this other shit to do that. They will also manipulate blackmail through sexual blackmail and bribe the fuck out of all of the fucking politicians if that's what they need to do. They will also smoke a politician. They killed Kennedy, goddammit. They want control over this shit, and they are willing to do some brazen shit right in front of everybody to do it. Not giving a fuck about how you think or feel about it, because they will lie to your ass and dare you to do something if you think that you can see something. Bust a move is what they tell you. What the fuck are you going to do about it? Once you know that it's all like that and they got this global plan to do something, you would know you can't trust politics. Wherever the politics go, just know that it is furthering its agenda to integrate us into a global governance. There's not going to be stopped because you like Trump and you voted and the American people have spoken. Shut your pussy ass up. There's something you don't know about this shit. That's why you still harping on that shit. That's why you're still harping on the vote and the Constitution and all that shit. Because there's something about this shit that you're not paying attention to. You're not calculating it into your observation. That's why you think there's hope in this shit. They're not going to let that shit get in their way, bro. They make this long-ass plan to subdue the entire fucking world. We watched Germany try to do it. And the one Germany, he got financed by Jewish bankers to do that. See? Why is that strange? Why is it so strange like that? Because there's something going on behind the scenes that don't match the fucking narrative out here. And you can't bring the surface level narrative. You can't bring it to me and expect to fucking teach me nothing. To show me nothing. To reveal nothing to me. I know what the overall dark plan is. And I know that they're not going to be stopped by some good old American fucking honest voting system. That's not even there. You think that's what they're going to let them stop them? They'll let that stop them? No, they're not. They're going to get what they want. They're going to get what they want. You're not going to stop that shit with a vote, or with a flag, or with a constitution. They're going to change that shit. They've been trying to change it, and they are going to. And when they do, it will prove that the Constitution didn't do shit to stop them from getting to that point, because they're going to get there. And it will hurt the momentum needed to stop them at that point, because the Constitution will hypnotize enough of us to get us to step out of the fight, because the law is the law. And then some of us will step out of the fight too because of the hypnosis. About depending on that, letting that be your guiding light. If that's your guiding light, it's going to try to guide you into a fucking forfeit without a fight. because there's no expectation of a fucking revolution from y'all if you're going, but wait, go to court, Constitution. There's a hearing. You guys signed it. You promised. You think that's going to stop what's happening? If you knew what was happening, you would know that it won't be stopped by that. That's for us to busy ourselves right here. While they do that other shit, they're not going to stop for you. They'll do anything to shut you the fuck up about it too. Crash the economy? What Constitution? Huh? What Constitution if they crash the economy? Turn that fucking grid off? What Constitution with no grid? Are you insane? Are you insane? Don't you know the only thing that's ever going to stop you is a distrust for them and maintaining your gun no matter what it is that they ever say to you? That is what would fucking foster a revolution, whether you believe in the Constitution or not. Just know that they have no expectations of dominating you without first addressing your Constitution to see how many of y'all give up when they address you in that way. If they could only address us by pointing a gun at us and it's the only time they can ever talk to us, they would either have to fight a fucking fight they're not going to win, or what? They have no other option. There is no other option. And we told them that's the only way we're ever going to listen to them is that they're in the streets pointing guns at us, then we'll talk to them. They would have to do that every time. And then it'll go down, and then they'll stop doing it. But when they do this, though, they can tiptoe for 250 years, and y'all don't even see them. 250 years, they tiptoeing. Y'all don't even see them. What up, Nanya? What up, Austin? Edward, what up? Malcolm X, Edward said Malcolm X was very intelligent. He was, but he didn't go far enough. Wanting separation from something he was accusing of, things like that, shows me that, yeah, it's like this, bro. If your child gets mauled by a bear in the woods and then the bear runs off, what do you think is going to happen next? Guys are going to go looking for the bear that killed your child. You and a band of your friends. This is just kind of what happens. You don't go, as long as the bear went away, we're good now. We'll bury the child. Life goes on. That's all we got. No, y'all going to go get that bear. Stop playing. Stop playing. You're going to go get the bear. For what it is that the American government has done to the world and to its own fucking people in a state of great violations nationwide. So much so that the fact that government is even still standing is a problem to me. When I know that they violated to the degree that they shouldn't be standing, don't you know I don't respect their process or anything that they do after that? How can I respect the process of a bunch of pedophile criminals as if this is going to be my saving grace to get them to admit to it, handcuff themselves, throw themselves in the fucking prison and sharpen the gillies and walk themselves to the... They're not going to do none of that. They're not going to do no part of that. You show me one motherfucking police officer that got the balls to arrest Bill Gates for anything. Stop it. Huh? Didn't vote for Bill Gates? Look at him, influencing all of your fucking shit. Constitution what? Mention the Constitution of Bill Gates, he goes, I'm not a politician. Got all this control over you. Like a politician. Never voted, he ain't got to answer no political questions to your ass. Either. Right? No different than Elon Musk. I've been telling y'all this shit for 6.5 years on the streets with a gun. You know how much I got to fucking feel what it is that I'm saying and thinking that I think that I'm looking at before I even get out on the streets with a gun? I've been doing that part for 6.5 years. I'm telling you. You can praise that Constitution all you want to. It ain't going to save you. It ain't. You're begging pedophiles to pay attention to something that they've been fucking playing games with you about for 250 years. They're going to listen to you now. Right at the time that we also believe that they are amping this shit up to tip it over the fucking cliff to make it irretrievable. Who in America don't feel like there's something like that could potentially happen, that we just kind of losing our grip on all of this stuff, right? Economics, the grid, the politics, the international fucking commerce thing is crazy right now. Super sensitive, right? Y'all think that's a game? What Constitution in a famine? Huh? Ain't no food or fuel moving around this bitch? Huh? Energy? Huh? No grid? You can fuck with us without fucking with the guns. Do you think that they give a fuck about what you think that Constitution says? The World Economic Forum, the Council on Foreign Relations, they don't give a fucking fuck. The United Nations, that if you know anything about the fucking blue hats, right? Do you think they care? Do you think that holding the Constitution in the air will make them say, fuck, we can't do nothing to them, really? You think that's how they responded to that shit? Stop playing. That's all the illusion. That's the dragnet to get some of us to step out of the way. The real fight is going to be when they say, fuck you guys, here we come. And then those that are here that are armed, and we can see them coming and we knew this was going to happen, all of a sudden paper don't matter. Paper don't matter when bullets are flying. You got to stop that shit. That paper they don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Trump said he like due process first. That he like take the guns first, due process second. He talking about he want the homegrowns, right? He is furthering some things that Biden put into position, and then Trump comes in to carry those things on after talking shit about him. You can see candidates during the campaign run. When Bernie Sanders ducked out and he was out of the run, he sent everybody towards who? A man he was talking shit about the entire time. He said, love me, love me, love me. Man, I'm out. Love him. I think y'all should go here. A real politician would have said, if I don't get into office, you guys are fucked. Fuck all of them. All of them bitches are bitches. They bitches for life. Fuck them all. Tell them come see about me. Fuck that. Y'all, you guys are fucked without me. That's what a real politician, I would respect him. As soon as you start trying to get all your people with a vote that matters so much to go praise a guy you've been dissing for 8 months. I don't got to trust that shit. Y'all crazy. I wouldn't trust these kind of fucking actions and shenanigans from a woman. That's for sure. If your wife played you like government trying to play you, you wouldn't trust that bitch. You stop playing your own. You can't lie to me, motherfucker. Who else in this bitch? Freedom Inc. is in here. Engineer X as usual. What you mean, Engineer X? What you mean, whoa, wait a minute. They do have authority. No, they got guns, and it plays off as authority, but if there was a confrontation between me and a cop, and this cop is a highly decorated cop, and then he's got this authority or whatever, but all that shit gets wiped away because there's a conflict between me and him, and I shoot him down, and he's bleeding the fuck out right on the ground, and I'm untouched. Where is the authority? I could call for help, or I can give him 3 more in his upper deck to make sure he's out of here. I could do that. So where's the authority? Pardon me, somebody called my phone. But where's the authority then? Ain't none. Authority is a fucking illusion, bro. There's no real authority between me and my kids, really. There's a presumed responsibility that implies the authority. But it's fleeting, though, because even nature says, let that child go. Even if they go out into the world and wreck their fucking life, I just got to sit back and watch them wreck their life until they die. That's what will happen, and those are my children. But nature says, hey, here's what it is, nigga. When they grown and let them kids go, fuck you gonna do about it, right? If government can't do me like that, there's a problem. And the only problem really is that I've relinquished so much of my responsibility of managing finances for retirement and all types of other things. We haven't come together as a community to figure these things out ourselves about how to secure a functioning community, especially a small one. You can keep a small community pretty good without any real government influence. The Amish people do pretty good themselves, and we should take some tips from them about how they do certain things. But we can even do what they do on a massive scale, and you'll be surprised. We got a weak-ass dependency on them, and this is where the authority is coming from. They got to actually get it from us. It's not magically there. So if they got to get it from us in social constructs and relationships that a lot of them are fucking forced, if this is how you say, and there's the authority, then you can easily rewind that and don't give them that shit and take back the responsibility of shit, and then they have no authority. If the authority lies in the actions and the responses that we get in this fucking bullshit relationship, then the authority is just as fucking fleeting as the possibility that this wouldn't have happened like this in the first fucking place. You see what I'm saying? It's mobile. If the authority is mobile like that and fleeting and interchanging, depending on what the fuck is going on, then I don't really see that shit then. I see it for what it could be, not for what it is. And then I will reach for that while calling it is what it is. I know what it is. I can say fuck the police and I know goddamn fucking well I don't mean that enough to go to the police station, open the door, and get wild. No! What would that do? what would that do? It wouldn't do shit. It wouldn't prove me right about nothing at all. It sounds like a fucking suicide mission for goddamn sure. That's guaranteed. And it would just make it harder on gun owners after that, especially after me being who. But you think they would never trust another one of you motherfuckers if I went crazy? They'd never trust y'all. So you talk about authority. I think a bit of this authority that we're talking about is kind of in my hands for me even being who it is that I am in the first place, right? Let's talk about this. The Armed Fisherman is a YouTube channel. He actually highlighted my channel before. He's got like over 200,000 subs. He got 221,000 subs, right? Guy in Florida. He called themselves the Armed Fisherman because in Florida, they wrote down on the magical paper that you got to have a fishing license or a hunting license in order to openly carry a rifle or a long gun or some shit like that. So he plays the game with them by saying, I have that. And that is what it is that I'm doing. And y'all still not going to respect the fact that I'm out here with a gun because I'm going to come out here and look how y'all acting. So Buddy doing something good, right? Because he putting the cops on blast down there. Doing very well at it too. But what he is doing is taking what it is that he can, given his environment, and pointing a mirror at them to show them how insincere that they really are. They got gun control that they got on the books, right? And then they got their ignorance and their potential response and your ignorance and your fear about how they will respond that gets even more gun control. Because what I'm doing is legal, but won't nobody do it. They scared. So the gun control is actually stronger. Excuse me. It's actually stronger than what it perceives to be on the paper. Where is this added bonus? Where is this icing on this fucking bully ass cupcake that they got going on? Where is the icing coming from? The fact that you guys are ignorant and scared. So now it looks even stronger, like this illusion of authority. That's how fleeting it is. Your response to what's actually legal will determine what their authority looks like. Because it's legal for everybody to walk around like I do with the AR-15. If everybody did it, you will relinquish your dependency. And then all of a sudden, the legitimacy in law enforcement and what it is that they have to do will appear to be no protection at all and only extortion. You flexing your rights is giving their illusion of authority a supercharge for no reason that doesn't need to be there. They can easily change, or if you guys changing your perspective in your minds, and all of a sudden what is authority that they have and you can't, yes, the fuck you can, because their authority not even there for real. And you'll know if you get out here with an AR-15 and say, I'm looking for hugs and no one else touch me, all right? You're going to hug me or we're going to shoot. It's on you. Your choice, balls in your court. You come out here like that, all of a sudden, what authority, bro? You almost got to come out here to bump up against it to see where it really is, to see what it really look like. Then you go, oh, this is where the authority is. Okay. And then when you see it, then you go, that don't got to be that way. I can apply to be a fucking cop and be a cop in a short time. One of these cops that could pull me over could also be fucking fired tomorrow. Now we're going to switch places. Give me some time. What authority? None of that shit matters to me at all. This is what the point is. There's this illusion of society. We can even keep the illusion consistent between countries or between states even. What's fucking civil here, due to the way some of the laws are written here, is fucking uncivilized in other fucking states. A neighbor state like Illinois, if I go out there and rock that AR-15 shit in Illinois, the cops will shoot me down. The public will say, good job, officer. The cop might even get a fucking medal. Somebody just got shot down in Florida. Like I was saying, the fucking armed fisherman. He just did a cover on a story today about a man walking around with an AR-15 near where he lives in Florida. The man was approached by police officers, told to put his fucking gun down. I think he may have reached for the gun, possibly to put it down like they said, and then he got shot and killed. So the moral of the story is, when you write it down on a magical paper, this illusion of authority takes their authority only so far, and then they rest right there. That's where they perch. And then they say, from this point forward, this is where we can say the authority the quote-unquote authority can play its role. In Iowa, they wrote something different than what they wrote in Florida. And look at what the difference is. This man got shot down for doing something that I get hugged for. That's crazy. I get to call that weird. I get to call whatever this illusion of authority, I get to call it inconsistent, invalid, actually not taking on any real characteristics of authority, but the characteristics are more gang-like than authoritarian. And you wouldn't say that Crips have authority over nothing. You would call them whatever the fuck it is that you want to call them for being that, because you disagree with the lifestyle. And at that point, even the good things that they do, if they need all of the bad shit that they do to get to the good, you will say the bad has disqualified you from all of the good shit, because we can get somebody in here to do that good shit without all this bad shit that you actually feel entitled to. Look at you go. Look at you go. That's how I feel about the cops. I don't see authority. It's the same thing as the fucking gangbangers. It ain't no different. It's not authority. It's threat and dominance. They can be fucking proven to be exactly that. If I want to open fire on their ass, let's see who survived. I open fire. They lay down. Where's the authority now? Kind of look like it's with me. None of that matters like that. I think the way we perceive these things, the way we talk, the way we say it, and the way we address them about it, all of it matters. You have to use the words. You cannot look to a politician and say, hey, that's unconstitutional. That's not going to work. You got to say, that's a violation of natural law and your own constitution. You lost twice. It looked like you're supposed to be dead for that. What's the punishment for what you just did? Death. You got to go there. Bye. That's how you talk to them. You can't cry about a constitutional violation. They go, man, there's 100 of them. Not just by me, but by others. That's 1,000 of them, these violations. I don't give a fuck about you calling me out on that. And go on. What else you got? I can talk past that. Right? If they can talk past it, lose your legal jargon and bullshit, know you're not going to show up to a court date to press no charges on no congressman, shut your ass up. Y'all leaning on all this stuff that y'all not even using. You're leaning on all of this stuff. You're not even using it. Y'all not filing no charges. Y'all are crying and begging. Criminal. Pedophiles. What? Don't talk to me about no system or how it's supposed to go or where the authority at. The authority is with them because they violent. If they had so much fucking authority, but they had no propensity to be violent, they wouldn't have no authority. Right or wrong, they wouldn't. Right? That's why a revolution ain't gonna never fucking happen without a fight. You're not gonna give a revolution in a courtroom with some papers. No, you're not. You know you're not. You know you're not. So where's the authority from a revolution come from? It's gonna have to come from the violent part. Now, of course, you got some prerequisites here. You got to know what the fuck you talk about. You need a plan. What the fuck you gonna do if you got government to back the fuck up out of here? If you got them out of here, what you gonna do? Y'all ain't got no plan. Y'all don't even know what the plan looks like. You gotta come with all of your fucking ducks in a row, right? Is that the expression? Get all your ducks in a row? Yeah, quack, quack, motherfucker. Get it right, and then go to them. Because you can get the plan right and not follow through. The plan means nothing if you didn't get no freedom, right? You're gonna need violence as part of the recipe to get to the freedom. I don't give a fuck what none of y'all say. It's the only thing that really makes any of this shit move. They shouldn't wouldn't move without the violence. Period. And that's where the authority is. It's in the propensity for violence. Period. That's where the authority comes from. Ain't no governance in the fucking woods. You a bear with claws and teeth? Good luck. You got to fight that shit out. No one's going to hold a fucking court case to see what authority really is. It's going to be which one of you are going to kick the most ass out here. You're not going to get the mate if you ain't kicking ass. You ain't kicking ass, then you're out of the game. You'll get fucked up out here. Period. You know how you can see that that's true? That the American government knows that? They come out here to kick ass first. Ask questions later. They bring all the guns out here, but when they go to the question asking parts, there's very few guns around. Everybody's unarmed in the courtroom. Because they like to kick the ass first. When they ask the questions, they already relaxed. Recovering from the ass kicking that they gave you. They tired. Your ass is whooped. Now they'll talk. Right? What authority? The authority comes from the propensity to kick ass. Because right or wrong, if government came out and got their ass fucked up all the time, the authority would look like it was in the hands of the people. Because motherfuckers want to fight it, then we're good at it. Looks like y'all win. That's the authority, bro. Thanks, LaDonna stepped in and wished us well. He with the biggest gun and the most skill has the authority. Yeah, that's just how it is. You're going to have to kick ass. I can't see no freak. Man, come on, man. If anybody sees a plan for freedom without fighting, I want to hear it. I bet you it ain't going to work. I bet you it don't. I don't think there is hope, Freedom Inc. says. However, the Constitution, as it is believed to be the most part I have found is lack of knowledge about words on a parchment were never intended to stop anything. I know it wasn't. Worse on I know it wasn't intended on stopping anything. We had to put into action. But you know what it does? When they say it's amendable and they hold court cases and hearings and they get 1 inch, they go take the whole mile telling you that there's a gateway to your freedom, and it's the faith in the Constitution and using constitutional routine protocol to not only get your freedom, but then hold violators accountable. And when they told you that, look at how detailed and elaborate court cases are, the law society, the fucking education to become it, to become a lawyer. The education in and of itself has a financial hurdle that most people consider the money game and how they need the poor to fucking keep the rich wealthy, and how the economics go. When you start including everything, then you go, boy, this was a race I could have never won in the first place. You can't tell a poor kid, that he gonna be president. Stop lying. No, the fuck he is not. Stop lying. There's academic, economic, and in some cases racial hurdles to be sure that your race from here to there is littered with some things that'll keep you back if that shit wasn't meant from you, and we will fucking clear the way for the ones that were. When you know that, then you know there is no way in hell that a constitution would have ever freed us. It would have only been the actions, like you said, the enforcement is the problem. It was the only problem. You can't act like the Constitution is a key to the freedom, because it ain't. It's not a key to the freedom. It'll do everything to be sure that we slow our pace, that we go through the red tape, that we honor and trust people over and over again unnecessarily when we already see the psychosis behind what it takes to rise in the ranks in politics. We see all of that. Then we say, give them and the political connections and the economic connections and the nepotism, give them all of that, right? And let them run that. And we'll try to catch them from out here. The average man ain't shit compared to the average cop when it comes to the force that you're talking about. The average man is no match for the fucking average lawyer when you talk about the law society that will be there if you can get past the police to actually challenge a tyrannical government. The fact that there's a protocol at all on their papers to meet with them in a courtroom to talk about God-given rights. What's there to talk about? As soon as we said, hey, we'll meet you and talk about it, you're lost. That's what you don't get. Freedom Inc., you don't get that. I understand what you are saying. What I'm telling you, it actually happens to not work out like that. You said that it wasn't intended on stopping them. I know that. I keep saying that. I'm telling you, don't intend to free you neither. The action that you telling me that we failed to perform to secure our freedoms is what it is. And I'm telling you, that's what the power was in the first fucking place. Because this reliance on the Constitution to stop them, to out them, to be used through their fucking government system that will be corrupted year after year, term after term. It goes further and further and further away from what these good old American guys, all these veterans and shit thought they were fighting for. They watch us violate the shit from the inside ourselves all the time. You got Americans begging for them to come take my guns no matter what that fight looks like. They don't even stop to think about that. What would it look like if there was a fucking AR-15 ban and they had to go get them all? The people that are so scared of the AR-15 that want them banned don't stop to think that if they had to go get them all, that would be a fight that they also don't want to see. It'd be the worst thing they ever seen in their fucking lives, right? So they don't stop and go, but we can't just take them. They don't stop. They don't think that far, right? They just say, go, 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 go. It's that frame of mind that makes people say, what do you mean there's a crooked judge? Just charge him and send him through the and then all of a sudden then he's resigns, and there's all these other things, and other government officials and other people that he got bribes and fucking blackmail. All this shit gets tainted, bro. People will run to his rescue to save their own asses to help a bad judge or a cop or a politician evade this justice that's supposed to be implied in their oath of office and their oath to the Constitution that they gain our trust through, which is bad. They swear on the Constitution and they swear an oath, and then we go, okay, we trust. And I'm going, how can you? They hid behind that Constitution to gain your fucking trust. That's bad, because the Constitution is not going to free you. The fight will. Just like the Constitution was never meant to fucking free you. You're supposed to have been stopped them already. The Constitution will keep you from thinking that stopping them with force is necessary, or that that's what you're supposed to be doing, it drives a big difference, a separation in just the knowledge of how the law even works, bro. Come on, Freedom Inc. Have you ever talked to a lawyer? You'll probably say that you have. You'll probably say that you have, whether you have or not, about these things that we could talk about the legitimacy of the Constitution and how to bring a congressman up on charges. And motherfuckers be talking about go call your local congressman. And why would I do that? Has it ever worked for anybody that a congressman has been called, came out and said, you know, I got enough of these phone calls to come out here and have a press conference and say, you know what, I think I'm going to change for on the request of the people. Did I change my perspective from this to this because they said so? And hey, I didn't see this change coming, but I think, you know, as I'm in office and I'm doing this shit and talking to my peoples and staying well connected to the public that I claim to be representing, they're calling me to make a change that I hadn't thought of. And it's only from the people that I get this idea from. And it was only after I was well inside of my office. And I think we're going to do this. They don't do that, bro. They have an agenda. They have a goal. They just do things. If they change, then they change for things that'll give them more money. Who knows how many of them are corrupted. It's a silly idea to put this amount of power into the hands of the people, into the hands of these people in general. You fucked up when you said that we'll talk about it. When you agreed to talk about the God-given rights, that is where you fucked up. And it's proof. The proof is in the pudding. You're saying the same thing I'm saying, but you want to respect the Constitution like it didn't do anything to hurt us, but it did. Because you know as well as I do, and I never hear you address this, Freedom Inc. Don't you know that that Constitution did not free us and that it's not going to? I think you're saying the same thing that I'm saying. But don't you also know that it's going to get some people to back out of a fight because the Constitution is a Constitution and it says amendable? It says that it was amendable. And then they amended it. What the fuck would ever be our surprise about that? You see what I'm saying? They're going to say this and stay out of it. There's going to be this gap in knowledge and education about how the law fucking works. Criminals can be criminals in front of a lot of these people that want to be fucking honest Americans and voters, and they won't even realize that the politician that they're voting for is a criminal. You can point it out to them, and they still not going to fucking change. Dude, we are in an uphill battle. The uphill battle is so steep because people thought that Constitution was going to keep them in check because they swore oath and there's a protocol and a process to fucking get them out of there. If they do that, and we'll be good. There's a chain of commands we got to process. The process has failed us. Knowingly. That's red tape to make y'all chill out so that y'all don't fight. That's what that is. It's red tape so we don't fight, so they can keep us busy so we don't fight. By the time we want to fight, a lot of us will say, hey, man, times have changed. The Constitution has changed. It's an amendment. It's been amended. Why are you surprised? This is what they're going to tell you. What up, Rick James? Going to the range to bust some fucking shots, boy. Popping off them freedom seeds. I don't know, man. Freedom Inc., I get what you're saying, but you're just a Constitution lover, bro. And why you love something that failed you? It failed you because it didn't convey the message well. People thought in the way that the Constitution is written, every part of it, it being an amendment, which is a legit argument from a fucking gunhead. When they say it's amendable, then I go, then you have an expectation that people might help you change it then. Even though I think you're stupid and you're wrong, I can see where you get an expectation from. You think that this is a place where you can fucking talk at. But it ain't. It's a God-given right and you can't even talk about it. I'm not going to listen to you. Why would I? But he thinks that it makes sense that, hey, we're supposed to have an open discussion about this. This is what the problem is. He's going to convince people in their ignorance, bro, to join that side. And then to want this to be an amendable thing that no one shoot at the police about. That you all give it up if it changes, whether you like it or not, because the law is the law. Bro, they're going to get a lot of us to step out of the fight, and they're going to get a lot of those people to step out of the fight to support them subjugating you and me. Don't you understand that this is the only place they can get it from? If you said it's a natural right, a God-given right, that's undebatable, if this is the only way you talked about it, and that it wasn't something they can reference in their law society to say, here's a Second Amendment, and here's a whole bunch of case study and all these other things and different laws between states over all of this motherfucking time for us to evaluate. It's a part of their fucking system because you said that it can be. You know why my reproductive habits isn't a part of their system, even though they said the world is overpopulated? because they never wrote it in there. And they know it's a natural thing that would seem taboo to try to control, especially when they didn't already get it written down. And this is what the kicker is. If they get it written down that the earth is overpopulated and no man should impregnate no woman, no man or woman should have only 5 kids, or should have any more than 4 kids. Let's say that was a rule, right? I got 4. If I had one more and they did not write this down, but they believe that the earth was overpopulated, they would have to accept that and hope that somehow the child will fall into one of the categories in these social constructs that will open up the idea of abortion as an option for me if I so choose, right? Then they do that because they can't control my reproductive practices, but they can try and call people in desperate situations to the abortion clinics, right? Because they can control the population right there. And abortion is securely linked to this idea of population control. And if you go down that avenue in a conspiracy theory, you'll see what I'm talking about, right? They got to go this deep into a conspiracy theory to try to enact some kind of a population control through such a dark thing like abortion and war. That's another population control tool. But they got to do this backdoor shit, while at the same time saying the earth is overpopulated. They say it all the time and they won't stop saying it. They won't stop saying it. Why haven't they written a law to say no man can impregnate or father any more than these kids, or else we're going to fuck y'all up? Because we all recognize that as a natural process that they shouldn't be fucking talking shit to, no matter how bad they think the earth is overpopulated. Get the fuck out of here. They should feel like that about the gun. They should have to do backdoor shit to get us to comply, but they don't got to do the backdoor shit. They say we can talk to people whether they own guns or not, and we can convince them whether they own guns or not to possibly give up the guns if we change the magical paper, or I'll step aside to allow us to fight the ones who refuse to give them up, and that's what would happen. And they have the fucking Constitution to thank for that when they called it amendable. You can talk all that shit all you want to, bro. You're never going to sway me on that, because I see what you're saying, and I'm going above and beyond it to further the conversation into a place that you seem to not be willing to go. I don't know why you don't want to go there, but that's what the case is, though. And you know it. They're going to get people to fucking back down from the fight because the Constitution is going to be their reference and it's amendable. Period. Period. Huh? The fight you talking about? I know. That's where my blame is going. The fact that the fight ain't happened already. It should already happen way before I got here. Way before I was born. Y'all should have been fighting their asses about the gun shit. That's one of 1,000 fucking one-hitter quitters that would fucking result in a fucking revolution if you were honest about it. The money, one-hitter quitter. Revolution. Right now about it. But y'all won't do it. Right? Why? Why? I bet there's a whole lot of legal shit and dependency behind why you won't fucking do it. Even if you can recognize the duty calling you for it. You will find legal and violent reasons why you won't do it. And it'll be those two things. And they'll come hand in hand why you won't do it. Because the law says this and they'll kill you about it. Got you. I think that's where the authority is. When you say these are the criteria, when you violate, we fuck you up, then you start winning. And we should have been did that about government a long time ago, way before I can trust a Trump, way before I can trust a Biden, way before I can trust a voting system, way before I can even care. When it deserves to be fucking destroyed, I'm not going to give a fuck about this is the protocol and this is what should have happened, and the Constitution should have never been allowed to be violated like this. We should have did this a long time ago. You're goddamn right. Should have been did it. Based off what? Huh? You're not going far enough. The Constitution is here, but my natural rights are way up here. Actually inspired that magical fucking Constitution. And I think the Constitution was written inevitably to allow them to control and use America until it cannot be controlled or used anymore. And then you change form. It's changeable because the founding forefathers wanted it to be changeable. It could have been unchangeable. And they said, shall not be infringed. And then they wrapped that shit and a whole bunch of other fluffy, debatable shit. That how did they not see this coming? I don't even like them that much if they didn't see this coming. They're not even that smart. Government sounds shitty on paper. If you would have told me shall not be infringed on magical paper about the gun rights, I would have been like, damn right, but what the fuck they mean about a court case or a hearing or me calling me into a courtroom to discuss how that goes? I don't want to talk no more. I already said it. As soon as y'all let one court case be heard about how guns are going to be managed and then all these different interpretations about the Constitution, that's when y'all fucked up, bro. But what else did you think would ever happen with something like that? The setup seems like something that will go no place but where we are right now. And if you can't see that, that's your fault. There's no other place for it to go but into this shit. You talking about government, bro? What the fuck you think was finna happen? You wrote that shit on paper and told them that we'll talk about it. There's discussions to be had, and then motherfuckers gonna get their corporate noose on and they slacks and they fucking penny loafers, and then you go waltzing your ass into a courtroom to talk about shit that they can't even win in the first place. Why you talking to them about some shit that they can't win? They come to the courtroom thinking, well, we win this case, and then this is what we stand to gain. A law that says this. And you should have been telling them, if you try to fool me in this courtroom to think that you won and you walk out of here thinking that now you can justifiably do this without being in violation of my natural rights, you're out of your mind. Everything y'all do and say is going to be a violation. You can't win. And if you go out here thinking you win, I'll meet you outside. We're going to see who wins. And then you see the real authority. Who going to fight over and who going to win. And you're going to win the fight that you want about the shit you got. That's where the authority's at and nowhere else. Period. That's why evil wins. If what you were saying was true, then good would always win, and whoever's fucking winning and controlling shit must be doing good. But that's not true. Bad people win because they're willing to do that bad shit to get what they want. They don't care, right? I think good people need to adopt some of that shit to say, hey, I'm willing to look crazy and violent and all that shit. I'm willing to smash shit. Might even get a few people that didn't really deserve what I did. I don't even really care. We going in. You might have to do that, and some politicians might get their ass smoked. That maybe, I don't know if that's what's supposed to happen. A Quentin Tarantino movie based on America changing for the worse, a total loss of freedom, and being integrated into a global. Man, if this was a Quentin Tarantino movie plot, niggas would have been shooting. Court cases will be boring in this movie. No one would care. They'd be like, when y'all gonna shoot? Because an audience will recognize that a court case at this point in American history about natural God-given gun rights, a court case is boring. It's only inserted in the movie at this point to serve as the last image given to you before the protagonist turns on his fucking turns the beast on, when he flips the fucking switch. That's the only place of a fucking courtroom scene in this movie. Fuck is you talking about? Niggas would have been shooting. This shit is boring. This shit is whack as fuck. Y'all are lame as fuck. I don't want to talk about no constitution, because if you're shooting at them, you're not going to be shooting with a constitution. And there's nothing else to do but that, I think. They're never going to give you what it is that y'all crying for and asking for and shit. It's never going to happen. They know it ain't going to happen without a fight. Their job is to keep you from fighting so they can get you. The Constitution will keep you from fighting so they can get you. But it's not going to free you, though. It'll be the reason why you seem lost and alone in a revolutionary mindset in a country that will cheer for your government to do you like other governments of the world have done their people, and then we come to play hero to pretend to be rescuing these people. Your own people would cheer for you to be done like that. Are y'all out of your mind? Freedom Inc., you bugging. You bugging, bro. I like you, but you bugging. Period. You keep on trying to preach that Constitution to me, I don't know what it is you want from me. What you want me to say? That the Constitution is the way and that we fucked it up? Yeah, we fucked it up, but we fucked it up and we continue to fuck it up, to hold this position of fucking it up because the Constitution has held us at bay. That's what you're not listening to. The Constitution held us at bay so they can go this far. Damn, do you understand, bro, or what, man? Mayday coming in hot, Austin says. Man, look. Hey, Iowa just said that 18-year-olds can walk around with a concealed pistol now, starting July 1st. About fucking time. But if they're doing this now, doesn't that mean that all of the times that any politician made sure that it wasn't like that, that they were in a violation? Is that what that means or not? Freedom Inc., I want Freedom Inc. to tell me. Is that what that means now? Come July 1st, in Iowa, 18-year-olds can walk around with a pistol and not just that long gun now. She said that this is how you do the Constitution. They're 18 years old, blah, 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 blah. It went through all of the votes, all of the exhausting of the talking and debating some natural shit that's already right. They got to catch up to it. They got to catch up to what's actually right. Look at them catching up. 2025. I was just now saying if you 18 and you want to tuck a Glock instead of carrying a fucking 16-inch AR-15, you can do that come July 1st. Everybody that made it unlike that, very much not like that, were in violation of the Constitution, and nobody's doing anything. That Constitution don't be doing nothing. It tells people follow the protocol. When we change it, we'll change it. Everything's good. We'll move on. We'll try to evolve. We'll try to do this shit right. No one tells you that Reynolds herself is guilty of violating U.S. Title 18, Section 241 and 242 for every little bit that she has had in playing her part in making it not like that until now. Did she do anything? Who was the former governors who made sure that an 18-year-old could not carry a Glock for protection, that they had to carry a shotgun or a rifle? Y'all are just now changing it. Everybody before now is wrong. They were wrong and in violation of the Constitution. If the Constitution was so awesome, why is it so casually violated with no consequences or repercussions to the violators? Why? You know why? Because there's something about the Constitution and the Law Society that it's a bumper. It's an airbag. It's a parachute. So when violators jump from the plane, bro, they don't come crashing to the ground. It's okay when they get there. It's a parachute, bro. It gives them something to hide behind. If they had nothing to hide behind, I think there would be a whole nother vibe manifested in America about how politics goes that would truly shape the country into what it's supposed to be. So you're not only just losing God-given rights behind this illusion of authority, you're also losing every day what the country and the world could have been like had we held them to the true standard from the jump. We haven't been able to hold them to the true standard from the jump because the Constitution looks like a place to go to get that justice that never really gives the justice because it wasn't intended to. It was intended to be a putty-like, moldable substance that government can mold and shape society around until it all falls apart economically and lawfully and internationally. And when it does, they say, hey, that Second Amendment shit that y'all were using, the First Amendment shit that y'all were using to shape your politics can now be shaped and formed into something that will make America susceptible to global control. This is how you do it. And now it's being used to do that. Just know that it is more likely to be used to shape us, to hand us over after America is done. It's going to do more of the shaping to hand us over than it is to free us, because we ain't never been free. Not about the gun shit, not about nothing. You cannot talk to me about the Constitution unless you address it in the way that I'm doing it. You cannot tell me that the written words weren't intended on freeing us, that it took the action that the Constitution said that. Man, fuck, it didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't do it. And I know why it didn't. Because of the way it's set up in the first place, dude. It was never intended on doing that, or else it could have. If they would have let me wrote the Constitution, or if I write one today, I bet you wouldn't be able to get fucked with like theirs is. And you can say hindsight all you want to. These guys are supposed to be so wise. If they could see this shit coming, they should have never said Second Amendment. Once they started writing there and giving it that title and then they moved forward, I know they was full of shit. If you don't know that, you're crazy. They said amendment. Bro, stop it. Stop it. They said amendment. They're not smart enough to not fuck that up. You bugging. You bugging, bro. And I'll take it in this way, really. I don't even want to get into it, but you actually did something on your YouTube channel that I totally disagree with, that made you seem weird to me, Freedom Inc. I'm just going to put it out there. You had a traffic incident on your YouTube channel in a video, made me feel way different about you. I'll just say I'm glad you don't have a badge. I'm glad you don't have a gun, bro, or a badge. Not about the gun thing. Every man should have a gun. The badge, though, I'm glad you don't have a badge, bro. I wish you had your rights to have a gun, and you always got that right. You know you always got that right. That there's a force to fucking scare you out of it. There's a force of violence, an unjustified force of violence to scare you out of it. You never lost no rights, and you know it. But you did do something on your YouTube, bro, that I was just like, why is you doing this, bro? You think you right for doing this? You did some foul shit, I think, bro. I'm just gonna put it out there, right? And then me and you had a text message interaction that you was texting my personal phone. We text back and forth. We talked some shit. We had some good conversations, actually. Or we had some actual phone conversations, actually. They were good. All in all, I think you're a good dude. I like you, bro. I would be honored to meet you, actually, because I'm not saying that you're not a cool person, but you did something in this video that I didn't like. Some of the exchanges that me and you had, you just seemed like you was trying to sun me, bro, and you can't sun me about nothing. And you think that you can, though, and I just felt like, bro, is it because I'm not rocking with your Constitution that all of a sudden you start looking for a reason to say, well, Trey's not that cool. He doesn't recognize the power in the Constitution. Then you start kind of doing this thing to me like you was trying to sun me, bro, and I didn't like that. I'll be honest with you, right? But between what you did on your YouTube channel and that video that I thought was bogus as hell of you to be doing and acting like you tried to justify that shit and act like you were being the cool guy, you were not being a cool guy. You think this Constitution is something to lean on. That Constitution is not going to fucking save us at all. They've mastered the Constitution so much so that for 250 years, they can make everyone out here stick their fucking thumb in their ass and fucking call it freedom when you know you ain't got no freedom here. So you have to wonder why the presence of this magical Constitution that you see so much value in, but then you got so much of this bullshit out here. Because it was manufactured in a way to be just enough to get us by, just like the school system. Smart enough to get through the things that they need us to get through and to play our part, but dumb enough not to know what the real fucking truth is. And they took that model and they put it into the school system and the fucking Constitution. Then they teach the Constitution in a fucking funny ass way in the fucking schools. They don't even tell the kids all of the fucking shit about the fucking Bill of Rights and none of that shit, right? And then they say the law's a law, obey the cops, you should join the military, blah, 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 blah. Then they tell all the kids this shit. The kids, they say this shit too, right? Fuck out of here. I need none of it. It's all fucking bad. Constitution ain't never did nothing for me. They put a bumper between me and the authority that when they molded and changed it to transform into the global control that they want for this country, that they are going to get. It's been a long plan. They're going to get that shit. They know that American Constitution not going to stop them from getting it. They know it. They're laughing at it. And you know that they are. Don't it look like they playing with you about it? Ask yourself, do it look like that they're taking it seriously? What it is that you taking seriously? What it is that you say is our saving grace? Are they playing it in that way? Are we? How'd that happen? Then nobody on either side is playing that Constitution to be as serious as you're taking it. I saw it coming. It makes sense why it wouldn't. I can see what the problem is. We told them to put your faith there. And then they say, we can dance around it or fuck with it. It's amendable. Are you crazy? Put all your faith there, nowhere else. Don't fight us. Meet us in the courtroom. Don't fight us. Vote, bruh. Don't fight us. Move to a gun-friendly state if you don't like it. Don't fight us. They're supposed to get the fight. The only way you could prolong the peace between us and government to allow them the peaceful authority that they have over us, the only way you can do that is if you have faith that the Constitution is going to step in to save us. They're going to change these things. There's a legal process, and we should be doing that. And you will watch the legal process from the time you're fucking 21 until you, I'll give you 4 years until you're 61. Let's say for 40 years, right? You watch the legal system dominate your adult life. And you do the voting, you do the rallying, you maybe even get into politics yourself. You can do all of that shit. Why is it that all these things have been happening and we still find ourselves where we are right now? Watching the ATF and maybe the DOJ possibly merge, and gun haters say, gun lovers say, fuck the ATF, get rid of it. You know what? You know the way they took that right in front of your magical Constitution. When we say that to them, that fuck the ATF, get rid of them. They say, oh, the ATF will be no more because we will merge all of their asses with the DOJ, and then they're going to be unstoppable. We're just putting behind something that you can't say fuck to. You can't say fuck the DOJ. It's too big. There's too much going on. We're mixing with the IRS too. Y'all say fuck the IRS, then we'll give it to the DOJ. Now say fuck them, because when you say fuck that agency, get it out of here, they go, oh no, motherfucker. You can't say fuck this agency. We do too much. It's ridiculous. I think y'all are crazy. I think y'all got a fake ass. I think y'all got a fake ass, weak ass, unrealistic faith and expectation that the system and the way that it's built right now will be the subject of your enslavement and also the subject of your freedom, but it just depends on how you use it. You're a maniac for that. It ain't true. It ain't true at all. You're never going to get no justice from the government. And on top of that, bro, I can tell you don't know what the fuck is going on. I can tell you don't know what's going on. What's the Jesus syndrome? Swab House, what's the Jesus syndrome? I can tell you don't know what's really going on, Freedom Inc. Because if you did, then you would know that it was a global thing. And somehow the global thing, while America is supposed to be free and open to its own changes, seems to be changing in the ways that favor the global control that they want on over America. You'd have to know that the global influence is so bad that Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, George Soros, and all these other international goons, if you can see their influence over America and see how that goes, then you'll go, a vote ain't gonna save me the Constitution not either. Because these motherfuckers is coming. They know how to circumvent all that shit, and they will, no matter how much faith I put in this shit. They are so willing to crash that shit that they'll smoke a sitting president to say, fuck all y'all shit, bro. They're willing to go that far, so I don't look at the Constitution and say, I'm glad that's there, because now they're not gonna be able to get us. Yeah, they are. And they're going to get a lot of my fellow men to step aside, too, when it's go time. Because of the Constitution. RPM Trade Vietnam and this bitch. Wu Bang, get a gun today. If you 18 years old and you in Iowa, get you a Glocky. It's fair game now because they said so. Just know that if they say so July 1st of 2025, they were wrong as fuck violating their oath to the Constitution July 1st of 2024. Last year, they were fucking it up on your watch, breaking that Constitution, and now they're trying to make it right, hoping you don't backtrack to go get their ass, because they deserve something for violating that shit. So fuck them, and fuck you if you don't understand what I'm talking about. I don't know what else to tell you. They're wrong, bro. They've always been wrong. We're waiting for them to catch up to the truth of this shit, but for what? They are super wrong, and whatever they're wrong about, today. I don't give a fuck if it takes them 100 years to figure it out. They're already wrong today, though. They were wrong about this Iowa shit last year, bruh. In front of everybody. Are y'all going to backtrack and retrograde and go back? Take a few steps back and say, who helped us fuck it up? If this is right, who was wrong? And then get their ass. No one's going to do that. If we held government to that level of accountability, we wouldn't be going through none of this shit that we're going through right now. They wouldn't even have the balls to be acting like this right now. But they do, because they're thinking, tell them to go through the processes, and when they can't get through it because they're dumb, or they don't got the time, or they don't got the money, we'll be fine. The whole time they thought the Constitution was going to protect them. But they're never going to fucking stand up tall enough, long enough, to make it count right here. We got red tape and buffers and bumpers and all type of shit. They're never going to get to us. That's what they counted on. That Constitution slows y'all the fuck down. And you relied on your nature. As soon as you felt naturally violated, you would naturally respond and then get a natural reaction from your ass. Into the natural dirt with their ass. That's what would have been happening. They slowed you down with the Constitution. Period. Wu Bang, get you one. Y'all tweaking. Don't tweak with me, bro.